This episode is sponsored by Supreme of the UK. Click the link in the description and support the podcast. Quote CFR at the checkout and receive 10% discount on your order.
You're now listening to A-Rod Music.
They don't believe they'll ever see it clean me. I'm thinking, why the fuck all my chicks leave me? Something's wrong with me, something's wrong with me. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. All I know is I'm so fucking weak. Can't even go a day, let alone a week without a fucking drink. And a few types of narcotics. What you on? What the fuck you think? I got a habit to all the poppin' Xanax bars, Vicodin and a Adderall, just to have a ball, especially when I'm rapping. I've been to a dark room and I'm conscious of it, but I feel like I'm trapped in. And if I can sing this shit for any longer, my nigga, who knows what the fuck's gonna happen? I got kids raising this hellhole. I don't want them living without daddy. I'm living life with no fear, but I feel I'm doing it the wrong way. I know in the end I'm gonna play if I out there in the hospital. What my people gon' say? You such a fucking disappointment, but I'm a product of their misconduct. No birth control, no condom. 9 months later, you got a problem, but they stepped up to the plate. Now it's up to me to profit, learn from the mistakes I make, so I could be more prosperous. Man, I think I turned out straight, but I'm struggling with myself. That's why I get high to escape discouraging thoughts. Cause when I'm sober, sometimes I find myself feeling discouraged and lost. But I'm through paying that cost, cause I know that I have more courage than most, and I know that I gotta slow down in the dope, pick up the pace on my dream and blow. Atomic style, take them thoughts and jot them down. Spit that real, lock it down. Take that throne, rock that crowd. Hit that stage and rock that crown. That makes me feel good. This world is bad, man, and I just wanna feel good. Sometimes I'm a madman, and I just wanna feel good. All life in the sand, man, I just wanna feel good. I grab me a bag, man, cause I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good. Right now I feel good. How good? Real good. Right now recording this music is what I do, and it makes me feel good. I represent a real hood. Circle, Shot-Town. If you were paid not to hate on me for a nigga, I bet you still would, cause I guess that makes you feel good. I'm a real nigga, I ain't gon' lie. I wanna be in a nice crib and I wanna be gripping grain, nigga, real wood. That vision makes me feel good. Yeah, real good. That vision makes me feel good. Real good. If you're not scared to die for what's right, yeah, that makes me feel good. It'll be a time where we'll all have to fight, and that makes me feel good. Cause that'll be the time we all will unite, and that makes me feel good. And right now I'm on another planet tonight, yeah, that means I feel good. I'ma be walking the ring of Saturn, drinking Hennessy, smoking that fatty, thinking about life and really what matters. I can see the day when my pockets fatter, my vision has come alive. That makes me feel good. This world is bad, man, and I just wanna feel good. Sometimes I'm a madman, and I just wanna feel good. I don't like feeling sad, man, I just wanna feel good. Grab me a bag, man, cause I just wanna feel good. Grab a hold of my kids, cause yeah, that makes me feel good.
Because you can't do that, and this is what I'm trying to show people. This is what I'm trying to say.
Man, it's because you think back in the pardon self, back in not even back in let's go back in the day. There were a lot of artists who sung nothing but either love, conscious stuff, and whatever. But in their former life, they were wicked. You know, they were going away pure badness. But they didn't want to put that on record. It's again, everything's it's an upside down world we're living in now, where it's people who are not even bad are on wax. Oh, well, not on wax anymore. Are digitally putting down pure violence, killing, degradation, subjugation of women, just nihilism, man. Just blatant. Yeah, this is me, but in reality, that ain't them. Now some man are obviously talking exactly what they're living. They're not studio or nothing. But it's like, where do we get this mentality? What's the road? What is your path from your birth to your death, and that dash in between? What's that path actually going to look like? Because if you're just talking all of this bullshit, right, that's energy you're putting out to other malleable young minds who are going to take that in and thinking, you know, my man's he's our God in essence. You know, he's someone who we'll look up to, and we're influenced by him. How long does your path last? Because all of that negativity and all of that wickedness, it's got to come back to you, right? That's why we see that the proliferation of young black males no longer on this plane of existence. entering the music industry, talking all kind of nastiness, all kind of wickedness, and unfortunately, they're no longer with us. 1 and 1 equals 2, right? So the energy you're putting out is gonna come back. They know it. We know it. The record labels know it because they're making money off the sales of these singles, off the albums, and off the peasant insurance that they have. So when the artist is no longer with them, they get a massive payout from the death. And then they release the catalogue, depending on how old the artist is, and make more money from the death of an artist. As soon as an artist dies, their money, their sales exponentially increase. It's a wicked game, man. Remember DMX did that poem about the music industry?
Yeah.
Everyone go back and listen to that. Listen to Shaka Khan with talking to Piers Morgan saying how the music industry is evil, it's demonic.
You know how I look at this, yeah? I look at it like this. Let's say you had to make this analogy, I'm gonna take it away from music. Now modeling is a massive industry. Modeling, people that walk down catwalks, people that take photographs for magazines and websites and things like that. It's a massive industry. A model at the top of her game is making millions per year. So I'm using them as an example to represent the asset. Now, let's say that in the space of a year, 3 models had been murdered and 3 models had went to prison. Would the industry not see that as a major red flag?
Yes.
Would they not be doing everything in their power to turn that around, to stop whatever was going wrong? Now, that Trinidad movement that a man put me up on, I've been looking at it. There was an artist called Rebel 6. It was big. But how Trinidad works is the same way as Colombia. They have areas that have all the youths following one Don.
Mm-hmm.
So a Don, if you're an artist from one Don zone, he may use you to attack another Don. So that Rebel 6 said something, I don't know exactly what it was, but he said something that was very offensive to another Don. Yo, he released the song on Friday. By the next Friday, Noble, they went to his home and killed him at his home. Now, this dude had hits. I'm talking about this dude was definitely going to be a star. Let me show you something. You see that Prince Swanee?
Mm-hmm.
It's him that has Byron Messiah under his label, you know.
Okay.
This is what I'm trying to say. Enough people don't know that Prince Swanee signed Byron Messiah. He signed him to that song. He's eating off that song. But the politics in Trinidad is that serious. Now, same thing in rap. Same thing the same thing in drill, should I say. Matter of fact, same thing in hip-hop.
Hip-hop, yeah.
Across the board.
Yes.
So you have to say to yourself, how is it that guys are actually making it in something? You're actually making it to a level where the money's good, you've got success, you can feed your family. Why would you still be pushing a certain narrative and actually even go in prison and actually even sometimes even ending up dead? Look how much rappers have been murdered. When you really check it, rappers have been murdered for years. You've been seeing rap, really, even from the 90s. When you really check it, Biggie, Tupac.
Now just go back. Scott La Rock,
Yeah.
We Down Productions.
You see it? You see? So the labels, that music, you got to think, if the actual people making it, look at their lives. So you got to say to yourself, at some point, something's going wrong. I'm not saying that, don't get it twisted, you know. I'm not saying that a man's meant to be Mary Poppins. I listen to bad man tunes as well. I'm saying that should never be the 90%. That should be the 10%. Just like with woman rap right now. When you really look at woman's rap right now, when I was growing up, yes, you had the Little Kims who were saying some downright outrageous stuff. But then you had the Lauryn Hills as well, who were going against that message. And it was at a point where them two could actually link up and make a tune, because they both had fans who understood. So if you were someone who wasn't with the Little Kim, you could have went to the Lauryn Hill. Mainstream, I'm talking. Today's world, it's 4 Little Kims. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So of course the labels understand, because I've said it before, the labels will only sign what makes money. But somewhere the narrative changed. Somewhere between the late 80s and the mid 2000s, the narrative completely changed. Trust me, this conversation ain't really happening like that, because it happens, but a lot of people would just say it's evolution. But
Yeah.
Things evolving, doesn't that mean to improve?
Yes.
What's improving?
Mark 1,
music, it's
Mark
going
2.
backwards.
It's the evolution. At some point, as you say, the smarter element of yourself has to say, wait a minute. Pac, Biggie, these person, Van, the Mo 3,
FBG Doc, FBG Cash, Pop Smoke.
Yeah, Pop Smoke, Seagram, Miller, Rising Paradise.
Tentacion.
Yeah.
BG.
Like, who?
Nah, I know he ain't died, but he's done some mad stretch.
Oh shit, yeah. He should be coming home soon.
Mad stretch.
Yeah. Corey Miller. Oh, and look, listen. This is why, and just like we've said historically, and we'll continue to say, sometimes us saying this now, there'll be people listening to this who are in that, there'll be artists who are in that, and at this point, for the last maybe 10-15 minutes, we just sound like Charlie Brown's teacher to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like skipping it. Oh yeah, I can understand it now. They then they get sat down and they grow from because these are youngsters we're talking. Youngsters, teens, early 20s. They then grow, and after being sat down, they come out as a 30-something-year-old man. They've got the experience now. They know, and they'll look back and they'll think of all this wasted time, all this wasted energy. And the majority of the people, they don't come back out and start trying to do a madness again, unless they haven't been mentally and spiritually rehabilitated themselves with some potential assistance. They're not looking to run straight back out. Yeah, man, let's jump straight back into into the game. I'm gonna start bossing guns at this my man. Then I've got some more material, and I'll start making some music. No. Through these unfortunate experiences, people grow, and some people will turn to religion, Islam, to Christianity, to whatever, the 5% nation, the gods on earth, and be a 5%er, NOI, Muslim, and see a better, because luckily they're still on this plane of existence, and they've only had to have that experience to get them to the next level. The point being, me saying all that, why should they need to? Why is there even an avenue for them, man? This was a small minority back in the day. They've seen okay, this gangster rap, okay, and some intelligent people created record labels, and started to say, well, look, I can see, and even within that, you wouldn't just get an album with just pure murder on it. There was at least maybe 1 or 2 tracks when they're talking about their wife or who they want to be with, or even a track just talking the reality, the start. look, I was doing this, and look, halfway through the track, I'm in prison. At the end of the track, I'm out now, and I've left that lifestyle away. You know, where's the growth and development? It's like people just arrested developments, being comfortably numb in the sense of, like, this is all about me. There's no tomorrow. Tomorrow isn't promised. Exactly. So why would you want to live it with your foot to the pedal? You driving down the motorway with your foot to the pedal. How long is the petrol gonna last?
Exactly.
Versus you driving down the motorway at a sensible speed, 70. That petrol's gonna last a lot longer. You're also gonna be able to see your environment better. You can take in, okay, shit, look at all these sheep and stuff. Oh, look at this town. Yeah, you just blasting down at 120, 130. You ain't seeing nothing. You're just concentrating on the road.
Short term, I like the music. You have to think. What I'm trying to say is that across the board, in black music, whether it be dancehall, rap, whatever it may be, even R&B, if you notice, when you look at those musics, man are going to prison, man are getting killed, man are beefing, women are talking mad slackness, man are talking mad slackness. And I'm not, again, I hate that I have to keep saying this, but I'm not saying like the music needs to be some gospel and clapping, because I'm not saying it needs to be like gospel and man's clapping and singing Kumbaya. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it should not be the dominant topics in the music. Something's going wrong somewhere. And when you look at a lot of like the labels, yes, we can blame them. However, they're just putting out what sells. I don't personally, tell me if I'm wrong, I personally don't think label owners are saying to man, yo, spit about killing that man.
Yes, no. I'll disagree with you. I think.
Alright, come then, let's go.
Yeah, man. And I know what you're saying, and some people are gonna be like, no, boy, you talking, man, that's crazy. Take off the tinfoil hat fitted thing and just leave that thing alone. But it wouldn't be necessarily Liar Cohen saying this. Yeah? This is gonna be the A&R guy. This is going to be maybe the engineer, not the engineer, the producer, the guy who's actually recording it on the boards and stuff. This may be someone who's infiltrated in the thing, who I'm the in between you and so and so. So when you need your hotels and all that, I'll get it booked. I'll just chill with you and da. When you need your greenery or your sniff or your perks or whatever, I get that, man. Don't even worry. We don't want you getting caught up in nothing. So I'll be in between. You want a tranny thing? Yeah, man, I'll get that for you. You want some other pros? I'll get that for you. So he becomes a trusted person, you know what I mean? Then he's saying, yeah, man, you see that last hit? And you see the numbers? Yo, I think the direction you should be going in is more of that thing, boss. That particular track and them bars that you were saying there. Killing it. Look at the engagement. Look at all these numbers. It spikes at this point. People are making shorts at that particular bar. You know what I mean? Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. They're feeling it. Alright then, and now let's play righteous advocate now. We're now talking about an artist who no longer is even in the lifestyle no more. They're just talking about what they used to do. They've now transitioned because, quote unquote, they've made it. They now can do things legitimately and you be paid for it. So they may have affiliations to the streets now, but they're not doing that per se. But then they've got someone in the ear saying, no, keep on promoting that thing, boss. We need that killer track, dead homies. We need a part 2, 3, and 4, and within that period, we'll do some remixes and get some bigger artists on there. And you could talk about chefing man and chinging and all them thing there, yeah. So he's like, oh, okay. My man's telling me that. I can see the numbers. Well, why wouldn't I? I still want to stay relevant. I still want to have this level of success. So yeah, why wouldn't I?
That's the thing. That's exactly what's going on. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I'm just talking about the actual label owners, because if you look at like a Tekashi 6ix9ine, he would have not made it in the 90s. He wouldn't have made it in the early 2000s. But because this era is all about shock value, a man like that can make a career for himself in today's world. Because when I first seen him, I knew he weren't no bad man. I knew he weren't none of the things that he was saying. I knew it was all about shock value. The rainbow hair, the music, the things that he was saying, the beefing. I knew it was all about shock value. In the 90s, we'd have been like, this clown. We wouldn't even know who he is.
No, we wouldn't. He'd be another person with a tag on his toe potentially.
Exactly. But in today's world, it's like we're looking and saying, like, it's like people are living vicariously through another individual, because a man's looking and saying, yo, my man's beefing with them shy rat man. Yo, how's this gonna end? Right. People are tuning in.
Yeah.
Because I knew that was going to end really, really bad. And no matter what no one wants to say, people were following this guy. He was being posted all over the blogs, all of that. The second when he was called, when he got indicted, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The second when he got indicted, I said, yeah, he's gonna tell. He's gonna give up everything, because he's not what he was saying he was. And if you check it, he done that and then come out and made a career off doing that.
But isn't his career? He's not selling like he was though now, from what I hear.
Nowhere near. He's lost the public. He's lost the what's the correct way to describe this? He's lost the buzz that he had. He's lost that everything he used to do before. He'd be in the blogs.
Yeah.
Other artists would entertain him. He's lost that now. However, he's still making money. He's still got a career of some sort. But if he didn't get in trouble with the police, he could have easily been leading rap. Easily. He could have been, there was an era, yeah, where it was just about the maddest, weirdest things that people could do. Man were putting on dresses and all that.
I know.
Think about it, even Young Frog calling man Bay and all these.
Bay, yeah.
So you got to think it became shock value content. Once that happened, the thing was doomed. Even when you really think Young Frog, my man's facing mad years and all that, was allegedly running some criminal enterprise. This is what I'm saying. There's something wrong with the music. The music, there's an illness within that music, and you got to think, if the artist, listen, I don't know more people in jail than more rappers in jail. So man from the road, all my bedrooms and all that from the road, and people that live that sort of life, I couldn't name on one hand mans that are in prison or dead. But in that world, I could name loads.
Yeah.
And these are famous, rich, successful people. You got to ask yourself, what is going on? How is it that this is still what? And this is what I'm saying. Afro beats is the sunshine in all of this. Because them, man, even though I've heard they've had their little disagreements, but they ain't no diss Afrobeat songs. I'm yet to hear no Afrobeat song where he's talking about ramming hood and girls' cho and rare. I ain't heard that.
Can I introduce the elephant in the room?
Please.
Caribbeans. Let's use this terminology. The Africans in the diaspora whose foreparents were prisoners of war are very unique Africans in respect to, we don't know per se which tribe are we from, Mark? Which country in Africa did we reside?
I know.
Was it north, east, west, south? I would say the majority of us were from West Africa. But we cannot, based upon what's happened and what's taken place, we can do the 23andMe and some of us, don't get it twisted, some of us will have, and I'm not being funny. I don't mean to be like, I'm not taking a piece out of people.
Break it down. You're talking facts, man.
We'll have a oral kind of history to a point to say, we're potentially Senegal, or we're, outside of that connection, we don't speak outside of English. We might be able to speak French, Spanish. Who, you know, what continent of African language do any of us speak? Can we any of us even speak the basic East African Swahili?
No.
Our culture, we have created our own culture, our own mores, shaped by the colonial oppressors. We speak broken English, patois. We don't speak Swahili. We don't speak Igbo. We don't speak, you know, the language of the Fulani, Eritrean, Somali. You know, huh? So we are totally handicapped in regards to our mental growth. We have grown and excelled, certain ones of us, and still today some of us are excelling, but as a people we're totally fractured, man. Totally fractured. That's why in Africa they've still got a resemblance, even though they're still being co-opted. Europe and China, they've got their paw prints all over that landmass, but they've still got a cohesive cultural structure to a point. Outside of the religious, okay, the predominant, they might be Christian or the Islam has taken over, they'll still have an indigenous spiritual system. They'll still have maybe two names, an Islamic name and their tribal name.
That's a
They've
fact.
got something they can all draw back on, whereas us in the diaspora, we're finding our feet. Some of us have found our feet and realized, shit, I wasted 2-3 years of my life. Luckily, some of us, I wasted 10-15 years going in and out the pen, making all these stupid decisions. Now I've found myself. I know where my place is in this plane of existence. I know who I am, most importantly. I'm not going to blame other people because I made the decision. My environment changed and helped mold me into a person who I was once, but now I am whole. I know the bad decisions I made. I'll trustfully not make them again because through the experience, I know. So I think that's a massive part, and as you've highlighted and as we've highlighted, the entertainment, because we're only talking about music at the moment. We've got video entertainment, we've got the media. They played a huge part in pushing this narrative, this idea. Other nations, you hear about a Jamaican, what did they say? Lazy. Or actually they'll say that about most Caribbean people, to be fair, but they'll say lazy. Oh, that nasty degrading music, dancehall that disrespects women, and he's a anti the letter gang. Yeah. There's a
stereotypical view. Is the truth?
Yes.
There's a stereotypical view on Caribbean men and Caribbean women as well. There's a stereotypical view. That's a fact. That's 100% a fact. But when you really check it, yeah, playing righteous advocate, as you know, as you call it. If I was living in South Africa and I'm following Jamaican culture, not just Jamaicans living in Jamaica, but Jamaicans living in the UK, Jamaicans living in the States, culture. That's what it promotes. Let's keep it real, Noble.
Yeah.
Like, let's keep it real. That's what it promotes. So that stereotypical view is also fueled by us too, because a lot of our men, and I don't want to go into the man v woman thing, but a lot of our men are walking around with undiagnosed trauma.
Yes.
A lot of our men are torn down. They're told that they're no good. They're told that they're this. They're told that they're that. They're abused. A lot of these men are abused. Like, no matter which way they look, from a child, you go to school, You know, you told one thing. Some people in their home, they told a certain thing. You know, when you start dating, whatever it may be, you know, people end up. If you tell someone, yeah, enough times that they're ugly, eventually they'll start to believe it. If you wake up every day telling an impressionable mind that they're an ugly person or a bad person or whatever, you tell that person enough, they will start to believe that. And when they start to believe that, they'll start to devalue themselves. I'm very careful in how I speak to people in today's world, because you can say something to someone, you know, that makes them think less of themselves, or the way how things are communicated. And I think in our world, a lot of men have been getting that from their mom, from their family, from their associates, when they're in school, work, college, university, whatever it may be. A lot of our men get told, you're no good, you're nothing. I met this African girl back in the day, and I thought she was like, you know, beautiful. She was from Ghana, but she had been told that men that come from Jamaica, you stay clear of. She had been told that. Someone had actually grown up this person, making them, giving them an understanding to stay away from Jamaican men. Even a man whose grandparents are Jamaican, that's a Jamaican man, but stay away from him because his morals don't, you know, up to par with yours. Yeah, thank you, align. She told me that out her own mouth.
Was it just Jamaicans though, or was she saying all Caribbean men?
She was heavily focused on Jamaicans because, yeah, she'd chat to you and you could take her out, or you could do everything behind the scenes, but you was never good enough to be with her.
Yeah.
And that is a dangerous rhetoric, trust me. Because I remember at the time even thinking, yo, what's wrong with this girl, man? But she just had it. So you got to think, if someone, let me give an example. If somebody says, yo, that person's a thief, person A is a thief, person A is a thief. So person C is telling person B that person A is a thief. Person B is looking for any excuse now. You see what I'm saying? To call person A a thief.
Yes.
So if something goes missing, if person A is in their car and they misplace something, they're straight away going to think person A did it.
Because person C said, yo, my man's a thief.
Exactly. So if you raise a child to believe that one whole part of the world produces terrible men that are not good fathers, that are not present, that are not good husbands. I remember that girl used to look for reasons to say that. Look for reasons to say Jamaican men are this or that. I remember she said something to me, yeah, that burnt me, you know, where she said Jamaican men are the worst men in the world. And I remember just thinking, what Jamaican men do you know?
Exactly, so you can form that opinion.
Like, you don't know my grandfathers, you don't know my dad. Like, what gives you the right to walk around saying that? But because maybe, you know, because that's the image that's given off, we get labeled with that. We get labeled like that because that's the image that's given off. And then there's a lot of unlearning as well that needs to happen, because there's a lot of people who have grown in like